Bossier Parish School Board meeting. Tonight we will have prayer by Mr. Kelly and the pledge will be by Mr. Bullard.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness, your glory. We thank you, Father, for the completed work of Jesus Christ on the cross. We pray, Father, for our school system, for everyone that is part of the system, part of the family. We pray, Father, for those that are sick and suffering, those that have recently lost loved ones. We pray, Father, that they can put their hope in you only. We pray, Father, for our country as we enter a critical time in our country. We pray that you would, whatever happens on Election Day, Father, we pray that you, in your infinite wisdom, will find a way to bless us as a people and to draw us nearer to yourself. We pray, Father, that you would bless this board so that we can be a blessing to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any Bossier youth leadership here tonight? If so, please stand and state your name and the school that you attend. Welcome to our board meeting, Jacob. And you can get signatures from any one of our board members. They'll be glad to sign for you. You're welcome. Item 1.02, approval of the minutes of the regular session.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bachhaus, second by Mr. Wiggins. Please vote. Item 1.03, approval of the agenda for the regular session of the board for November 3rd, 2016.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bullard, second by Mr. Lott. Please vote. We're down to our recognition and presentation. Item 2.01, recognition, Bossier Parish School Good News, presented by Sonia Bales, Public Relations Liaison.
Good evening, President Darby, Superintendent Smith, to all of our board members and all of our guests here this evening. Well, these last couple of weeks have been super busy ones for Bossier schools. You know, aside from all of the great things happening in our classrooms, our students, our employees, and our schools are garnering numerous accolades for their many achievements. We begin with a school that has earned not one, but 2 honors at the national level, and the distinction as one of America's healthiest schools. Will Curtis Elementary Principal Terry Bird and Assistant Principal Julia Henry please come forward? There they are. See, they sat in the back because they're all about getting their steps in each day. Well, thanks to the health initiatives that have been put into place at Curtis, the Tigers have won the Let's Move Active Schools Award, which is part of First Lady Michelle Obama's initiative to incorporate more physical activity into a child's school day. And let me just say that this is the nation's top award, top physical education distinction for K-12 schools to incorporate more physical activity into a day, with at least 60 minutes incorporated before, during, and after school. And that's not all. Curtis is also being recognized by the Alliance for a Healthier Generation with the Silver Award. You may remember last year they won the Bronze Award. Well, they moved up the ranks this year to win the Silver Award, one of only 3 schools in the state of Louisiana to ever attain at this level. And that is for creating a healthy school environment by incorporating health and wellness into the school day without taking away from academics. And we have a special guest here with us this evening, Erica Gillum with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, to tell you more about this award. So please welcome Erica Gillum.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Erica Gillum, and I am with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. I am the Louisiana Healthy Schools Program Manager. I have the opportunity to work with many different school districts across the state. And to kind of tag along to what Ms. Bales said, Curtis Elementary is one of only 3 schools to earn our National Silver Award. And Bossier Parish also has the most schools to earn our national award. So Bossier has always been the top school district in my mind when it comes to health and wellness. But I'd just like to kind of tell you a little bit more about our program and how they earned this award. So there have only been 328 schools nationwide to earn our award for this particular school year, and 58 earned silver on the national level. So to earn our silver award, Curtis had to meet stringent standards set by the Alliance's Healthy Schools program for serving healthier meals and snacks, getting students moving more, offering high-quality physical and health education, and empowering school leaders to become healthy role models. So it's important to note that these stringent standards at the silver level go beyond the state and the federal laws that you may be familiar with, specifically in competitive snack sales, like smart snacks, that's kind of a hot topic, and physical education. So in order to earn this award, they have to meet our best practices found within our framework. And our framework best practices come from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the United States Department of Agriculture, and then Let's Move Active Schools. So this is a really, really prestigious award, and I am so honored to be able to work with them to earn this award. So changing the culture of a school does start with the passion and the vision of one particular school leader, and to motivate really a team to make these healthy changes. So I'd just like to mention that the champion that started all of this at Curtis Elementary is Assistant Principal Julia Henry. So since signing up for the Healthy Schools program, she has been fearless in her efforts. There truly are not enough words to explain the leadership she has shown and the time she has spent to ensure the Curtis Tigers were going to earn this award. I had trouble keeping up with her at times. And I would also like to mention that every change and every step to meet the national award would not have been possible without the support and the encouragement of Principal Miss Terry Ann Bird. She fully understands the benefits of a healthy child and is always open to doing what is needed to make it happen. So Miss Henry, Miss Bird, and the many phenomenal staff of the Curtis Wellness Committee all deserve the highest praise and acknowledgement for earning this prestigious award. They have proven that it can be done. Health can be incorporated into the school day without taking away from academics. So thank you so much for your time, and I do have a little certificate for them.
To celebrate, a school-wide celebration was held last week at Curtis Elementary, where families were invited to come attend Rescuing Recess, which was an hour-long recess where all the parents and the kids could play together on the playground, so a lot of fun. And I do want to ask Ms. Henry to please come forward also. I know she's trying to stay seated on the back row, but I do have something special for her and also for Ms. Bird. In recognition of Curtis's 2 national awards, it is our honor to give their administrators these Awards of Excellence medals on behalf of Bossier Schools and also the sponsor of Coldwell Banker. Congratulations. And we want to ask all of our honorees tonight to stay if you can, because at the end we'd like to take a group picture with everyone in the lobby. Ms. Richardson's going to be taking their group picture. Well, speaking of someone who is also at the top of her game when it comes to health, wellness, and athletics, let's please welcome now Melanie Bailiff to the podium. Melanie? Is Melanie here? Okay. Well, we will tell you all about what Melanie did because she is truly a standout at Airline High School and also in the nation because she is a 3-time Paralympic track and field high school All-American. This is a huge honor. And if you've ever met Melanie before, and she has come before the board a number of times in the past, she is quite the inspiring lady. She recently competed in the 2016 U.S. Paralympic Games in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where she nailed it in the discus, in the long jump, and also the women's 200. And based on her overall results, Melanie was among 71 athletes selected as a 2016 U.S. Paralympics Track and Field High School All-American by the U.S. Paralympics, which is a division of the United States Olympic Committee. And just listen to the stats that resulted in Melanie being selected as an All-American. She threw the discus for 12.19 meters. In the long jump, she leapt 2.88 meters, and in the women's 200, she sprinted a very fast 39.77 seconds. So in honor of Bossier School's own 3-time All-American, we want to congratulate Melanie Bailiff from Airline High School. Now from athletics to academics, we have 2 other Airline Vikings standouts in the limelight here with us this evening. I hope they're with us this evening. Noah Booker and Emma Bullock. Will you please come forward? There we go. We're excited about this. These 2 students are among the top of their game in academics. They qualified as 2017 National Merit Scholarship semifinalists, representing the top 0.5% of all of Louisiana's senior students. And to put that in perspective, more than 1.6 million students across the nation from more than 22,000 high schools enter the National Merit Scholarship competition each year by taking a qualifying test that measures their critical reading ability, their mathematics problem-solving ability, and also their writing skills. And Emma and Noah are in the top 0.5% in our state. Top 0.5%. And there are also 6 others from Bossier schools who were named as commended students. Those receiving letters as commended students are Tyler Elmer, Eric S. Johnson, and Caitlin Simcox, also from Airline High School. Tyler Kerrigan, who attends Benton High School, Nicholas Godfrey from Houghton High School, and Rebecca Port, who is a senior at Parkway. Now, their National Selection Index score placed them among the top 50,000 students that took the National Merit Scholarship qualifying test. And again, that's out of more than 1.6 million students. So we're talking right there at the top. As for Noah and Emma, they will now advance on to the competition for the National Merit Scholarships, hoping to be named finalists, which will be announced in the spring and will bring some hefty scholarship dollars. And I know that your parents are certainly pulling for that too and hoping for that. And we're very excited for them. And we also want to bestow these commendation medals on them. We're so excited to have them as representing Bossier schools as our National Merit semifinalists for 2017. Sorry about that. Yes, I had that in the other place, and I just skipped over it, and apologize. Well, one of Bossier School's longtime educators is also being singled out for his exemplary contributions to education. And if you will, please welcome Bossier High School Principal David Thrash to the front. This is a big deal because Northwestern State University in Natchitoches recently honored Mr. Thrash during its homecoming festivities when they inducted him into their 2016 Hall of Distinguished Educators. Mr. Thrash graduated from Northwestern State in 1983, and then he went on to earn his master's degree in health education at Louisiana Tech, and then his +30 in educational leadership at Centenary College. And he's been principal at Bossier High School for the last 10 years. Started there in 2006 as principal. And prior to going into administration with Bossier Parish Schools, he spent 15 years teaching middle and high school in Benton, where he was head baseball and football coach and led both groups to the state semifinals. Now, his professional awards are many, some of which include being named Louisiana Principal of the Year, Bossier Parish Principal of the Year, and Bossier Press Tribune's Reader's Choice School Principal finalist. And now he has one more accolade to add to that very long list, and it is this Award of Excellence Commendation Medal. We want to congratulate our 2016 Hall of Distinguished Educators inductee, Mr. David Thrash.
It just took 34 years to confirm I actually went to school at Northwestern. They found me, and but it was quite an honor. It was quite an honor to continue to represent Bossier Parish in a positive way, and it was really neat for Northwestern to give back. But I do it because I love it. I appreciate the school board, Sonia, and taking the opportunity to recognize us in such a special way. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Thrash. Well, another member of the Bossier Schools family hasn't been with us for quite as long. In fact, this is her first year working as the secretary at Bossier Elementary School, but let me just say that it has not taken long for Teresa Hagler to make her mark and to earn her colleagues' respect and love, and for Principal Tresca Mitchell to nominate her as our October Gold Star. In fact, Ms. Mitchell wrote, "Teresa is one of the most selfless people I know. This year, she became the secretary for Bossier Elementary. Teresa knew she would have this position in the spring, and during the entire month of April and May, every day, she shadowed the former secretary to learn the aspects of the job. She spent the entire summer refacing the office building of our school with no pay. Zilch. It's amazing." The letter went on to say she has a very sweet spirit with administrators, teachers, parents, and students. She has made the transition of new office personnel much easier. The previous secretary had held a position for 30 years. If anyone is deserving of this Gold Star Award, Teresa Hagler is. Bossier Elementary is very blessed to have her, and so is Bossier Schools. Ms. Hagler could not have been more surprised, I don't think, when she learned that all the hoopla at a recent assembly was about her. And let's see the moment of surprise and hear from Teresa Hagler herself.
My name is Teresa Hagler, and I'm the secretary at Bossier Elementary. She's a very sweet administrator. She's a parent and she's basically a new officer personnel much easier. Most rewarding thing about this job is just the kids, just being with the kids and helping them, seeing them in the office every day, helping them with
Bossier Schools and Bossier Federal Credit Union's October Gold Star winner, Ms. Teresa Hagler. See, you even got a standing ovation there on the back row. I tell you what, they love Ms. Hagler, and we are so blessed to have her as part of our Bossier Schools family. And we want to also award this award of excellence to you. Congratulations. Congratulations. I promised her I would not ask her to speak. She had said early on, no, I am a behind-the-scenes kind of girl and I do not like to talk. So again, congratulations to Teresa, our October Gold Star. And that concludes my presentation, and thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Item 3.01, request approval of date of issuance of 13th check presented by Frank Rougeau, Chief Financial Officer.
Good evening. These recommendations are the same that we have had in last year and in previous years. We do recommend that the 13th check be paid on November the 18th, and it'll be by direct deposit.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cheatham, second by Mr. Slack. Any discussion? Please vote.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3.02, report Building and Grounds Committee meeting, October 25th, 2016, which will be presented by Dennis Bamberg, Chairman. But before he speaks, we have someone here to come, would like to speak on the item, Robert Gallant.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm losing my voice.
Mike.
I'm losing my voice, so I'll try to be quick. Basically, about 2 years ago, I went to a doctor's appointment, and at that doctor's appointment, they told me that my blood pressure was too high, my cholesterol was too high, and I needed to change my life around for the better. And I started a program called Camp Gladiator, which we nicknamed CG. The reason I picked CG is because it's located places where I'm easily able to go to. Stockwell Elementary, Airline High School. And because of that, a year later, my blood pressure's under control. I've lost almost 75 pounds. And I was able to convince my wife, who was also having some health issues, to join CG. And because we relate her joining CG to us finding out about 8 weeks ago that she became healthy enough to become pregnant. And we're now expecting our first child. And when I do CG, the majority of the people I'm working out with are teachers. So many teachers do CG because it's located in really easy spots for us. At schools where we're already at, where we can walk straight out and begin working out. And as somebody who goes to almost every single school board meeting and almost every single insurance committee meeting, I know one of the things that's often repeated at the insurance committee meetings is when you have healthy teachers, y'all pay less money. And through teachers doing CG, we are becoming healthier. I'm no longer taking blood pressure medicine or cholesterol medicine because I've been doing CG. I know a lot of people that I work out with are off medications that they used to take, and they are becoming healthier. One of my coworkers losing over 150 pounds just because of CG. I was recently told by my workout instructor that the board was going to be deciding soon that they were not going to allow Camp Gladiator to participate at any of these schools anymore. Stockwell, Airline High School, and about a couple other elementaries. I know in Caddo, they still are able to use the schools, but they're being told that in Bossier they will not be allowed to use the schools anymore. And I know I, as a teacher in this parish, and other teachers in this parish that use CG are upset about that because we use it so much and it has improved so many of our lives to the point where I'm off medication and living a very healthy life. My wife is pregnant with our first child, and so many teachers are able to be healthier, which again saves y'all money as an insurance, self-insured. That's all I really wanted to say. I understand that there was things that the lawyers said, that there's different directions that y'all can go, but I just know if Caddo Parish has found a way for CG to be able to use the campuses, I'm really hoping that somehow Bossier Parish can find a way too, so that we can keep having healthy teachers in our parish and keep getting amazing awards, because when Sonia Bells was up here, she said that it takes healthy teachers to be good role models to get healthy students. And that's how we're staying healthy. Thank you.
Congratulations to you and your wife. We also have Craig McLeod.
So, my name is Craig McLeod. Thank y'all for letting me speak for a moment. I'm going to kind of piggyback on Robert's discussion. About a year and a half ago, my wife and I started the program as well. My wife is an employee of Bossier Parish School Board and talked me into doing it. We have thoroughly enjoyed not only the program, but the camaraderie between all the people that we see on a daily and weekly basis. Definitely would like to point out just a few things. CG has actually got around 1,600 participants in Caddo and Bossier Parish. 900 of those participants are Bossier Parish residents. There are also about 40 to 50 Bossier Parish school employees that are registered using this program. There are employees that have lost, employees of y'all's, that have lost almost 100 pounds in a year. That's unbelievable. That is life-changing. The mission of this program is, their mission and their goal is to positively impact the physical fitness and ultimately the lives of as many people as possible. I don't think you can deviate from that when you have elementary schools winning awards like we just discussed. This is something that we all look for every day and try to strive for. We try to have our kids strive for. This program is not just an exercise program. It is a diet and nutrition and exercise program all rolled into one. I love being able to have this not only with my wife, but friends of hers that she works with, and the kids that all enjoy the program as well. One of the discussions from one of the trainers with, I believe, Keith Norwood, some of his concerns were, he had 3 concerns. One was a staffing issue at the locations. There's no staffing needed from Bossier Parish School Board. The locations, we are in a parking lot. We are not using any of the buildings. We're not using any of the facilities. We're not using any of the water or electricity. We are outside on concrete pavement, and we are doing this program as a group. One of the other things was the liability piece. I understand this. I'm in business every single day. Camp Gladiator actually went to each facility and got approval from the principals at those facilities and had a signed letter from each principal stating that they could use the facility. Without being asked, the trainers took it upon themselves to include the facilities in their liability insurance, which is $1 million. So they were not requested that. They went ahead and did it to make sure they were covered and to cover everyone else. One of the other things was the pickup and trash and debris of the site. CG has been using these facilities for 4 years after the approval of the principals, and there has been no complaints from anyone. Some of the statements in the handbook that you have say that any person who is a resident of Bossier Parish may be permitted to use the school facilities for programs or other activities. 90+% of the folks that attend these programs are located right here in Bossier Parish. And not just from here, have lived here all their lives, have brought their children up in their schools. And we sit here every day and use it, and no one has had anything negative to say. I think think is something that's very important not only to this group, but Camp Gladiators also reached out to Bossier Parish to offer a corporate discount to their employees. There's no marketing scheme, there's no trying to get anything from it. It is literally being able to offer the folks like Robert and others a discount just for being a member. Camp Gladiator wasn't going to earn anything from that. They were actually offering you a discount. I hope that you take these matters into consideration. I think that they are very open to discussing anything that could be done to help move this forward in a positive light. And I hope that you all do. I appreciate your time tonight.
Ms. Sandrina Isabart. We will now hear the report from Mr. Dennis Bamberg, Chairman.
Okay, the Buildings and Grounds Planning and Development Committee met on October 25th, 2016 at 4:30. We had 5 items that required board action, and then we had an item for discussion only. The first item that required board action was the committee recommends Bossier Parish School Board authorize the superintendent to sign a consent to assign for the mineral lease assignments from Anadarko EMP Onshore LLC and Atheon United BR LP and PEO Haynesville Holdco LLC in accordance with the terms of the state agency lease for 4 acres in Northwest 4, Section 25, T17 North, R11 West at Coran in Bossier Parish. Vote was 3-0.
This is our committee. Please vote.
Second item is the committee recommends that staff work with legal counsel in setting parameters and policies for use of school facilities. And as an update to that, we do have one that will get emailed to us this week to look at. We do have the joint cooperative endeavor agreement for our tutors, for our teachers tutoring. They worked that one out. I think that was something that was readily available to put together quickly, and I think they'll be working on the other ones as we move forward. So vote for that was 3-0 as well.
This is our committee. Please vote.
The third item was the committee recommends that the Bossier Parish School Board proceed with the bidding process for artificial turf fields at the high school campuses with an attendance of 700 or more. Vote was 3-0 on that.
This is our committee. However, we have discussion. Mr.
This was a motion that I made at our building and grounds meeting, and I am, at this time, I will be voting down or voting against this, and I would like to revisit this, a little more research into our next building and grounds meeting. So I just wanted to put that out there with that I will be voting no for this item.
Mr. Wiggins?
I said thank God, because I think limiting to 700 more is leaving out plain dealing. So I appreciate Mr. Cheatham's reasoning of revisiting this. I think it needs to be revisited. I hope the rest of the board members also would knock this down and take another look before we make a final decision. Thank you.
Mr. Buckhouse?
Thank you, Madam President. I second this vote, being one of 3 that were here for the vote, and I'm learning some stuff between the committee meeting and now on what the cost of bid and so forth. I will be voting no against this as well to revisit this at the next building and grounds committee meeting.
Mr. Kelly?
Thank you, Madam President. I would also ask that as the committee revisits this, for me, this did not have enough specificity. So that when the committee comes back, that it be as specific as possible. How many, the timeline, how many fields and how, and over what period of time? How are we gonna finance it? You know, just be as very specific as we can be. Thank you.
I too am glad that the committee decided to revisit this, because one of the concerns that I have is that, when you talk about, doing turf, I'm all for athletics, but I'm also first and foremost for academic. And I think that we need to look closely at, our needs that we have right now for the schools. And then, if we have money left, but not taking it from an area that was identified, special needs were identified, I'm not for taking it and reappropriating any money for it. But I do appreciate, the board, the committee going back and revisiting and maybe coming up with a better deal. Any other? Mr. Lott.
I also want to thank Mr. Cheatham for his statement of voting against this motion, and there's been a lot of discussion about it, and I echo our president's comments that, as I've said before publicly, that we have a lot of needs, and it's not that I'm against our fields having turf, but I just right now I just don't think we've met the needs with the bond money, and so I appreciate Mr. Cheatham's action.
Yeah, I'll say my 2 cents as well. I will vote against it tonight, but I'm still in favor of the turf fields in our system. I think we've done very good academically. Athletically, we're behind. We saw the long list that our principals turned in, as far as not just needs, but I mean, there was a lot of wants on the list, but there was also a lot of just, you know, some needs for community reasons and different things like that. So I'll vote no tonight, just to open the discussion back up, to maybe come back with some more specificity to how we could get this done.
Any other comments? Please vote. This is our committee.
Can we revote?
Yeah, we need to revote. I am order. I pushed the wrong, and I'm looking at it. Can we, revote? This is our committee, please vote.
Okay, fourth item was the committee recommends Bossier Parish School Board authorize staff to develop and bring back options to reconfigure Plainview High Middle Schools and Cary Martin Elementary School, along with cost estimates for the discussion. And this was voted 3-0.
This is our committee, please vote.
Fifth item was the committee recommends Bossier Parish School Board authorize staff to not include additional storm shelter design in the scope of project CM 1303 Benton High School as subject to the 2012 building code adopted by the state of Louisiana. And I believe that was just to see if we could get it passed and use the old requirements.
Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Madam President. I've raised this issue for every construction project that we've had since I've been on the board, starting with and it's simply this, is that in the 2013 tornadoes in Moore, Oklahoma, when kids were killed in elementary school, the American Meteorological Society, architects, engineers, and others, FEMA, have studied what has happened and have made recommendations about how to construct schools. And I would just ask that we take a hard look at incorporating those for the safety of our kids. We're in Tornado Alley. Our kids are in the schools 7 to 8 hours every day for 9 or 10 months, parts of 9 or 10 months out of each year. And I think it's, I would just like to ask the board to take a hard look at giving them the best possible chance of survivability, where we have these high concentrations of our most precious resource, our children and our staff, all day long.
I agree with Mr. Kelly, which is why we voted against it, because when we had a presentation on it last week, we talked about some of the past and how many that we had, how many tornadoes that we had, but I don't think that we can really look at, because tornadoes and hurricanes come when out of nowhere. And so we can't really just base on the fact that we haven't had this many fatalities and this many. I just agree that we need to look at this new plan and we need to go ahead and put that in place, because nobody can predict the future. Mr. Wiggins.
Thank you, Madam President. I agree with that wholeheartedly, that nothing supersedes the safety of our kids. We are in Tornado Alley. I was in the military when the tornado hit Baton Rouge in the 70s. And other things too. It's a very, very serious matter. And that school should have whatever protection it can have, if it never happens, for the safety of our kids. So I'll be voting against this. Thank you.
Mr. Bachhaus.
Thank you, Madam President. There were some statistics thrown out. 55 years, there's been 3 F4 tornadoes in this area, none of which any fatalities happened. There were 55 tornadoes in the past 55 years below an F4. This cost was going to be $2.3 million in addition to the 50+ million that we're going to spend on Benton High School. Yes, it is, can we predict, and is the safety of our children, is there a price on that? No, there's not. There's not a price on the safety of the children, but history shows that there hasn't been a fatality from a tornado in the past 55 years due to, and those tornadoes didn't even happen in school hours, so the kids are in school from 7 to 4 or 5, and I just didn't see the reasoning in adding $2.3 million to that, and I voted, out of committee, I voted to not uphold the, doing the specs for the tornado pylons or whatever the case may be, so that's, I just have some comments.
Mr. Bullard.
Thank you, Madam President. This is going to be one of those votes. I'm going to vote to support the committee finding, but it's one that'll stay in the back of my mind till the day I die. I hope and pray that we never have a tornado. But at the same time, we have 30+ schools in this parish. Not one of them has this type of structure. If we go forward with this with the tornado resistant structure, that is going to completely remove one wing. It's basically the cost of a single wing at one of our existing schools. This is a very difficult vote. If you think about it, and we'll think about it till the day we die, and God help us if there is a tornado and something happens to a child up there. They are, as already been said, they're our most precious resource. That's why we're here. Our number one responsibility is to ensure the safety and security and academic success of 22,000 children. But it comes down to a choice. Do we put all our eggs up in that basket, or do we move forward with projects that have already been approved and which are needed in other areas of the parish? I'm going to support it, but boy, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be sort of like Tuesday. I'm going to vote and I'm going to hold my nose and have something sweet because it's going to be tough either way. Thank you.
It's the last comment. It's like Russian roulette. Just not willing to play Russian roulette with our precious cargo. Mr. Missoula.
You know, we talk about having to think about student safety and construction for $2.3 million at a facility that, you know, maybe we should finish out all of our projects with additional storm shelter safety and better, faster roofs and things like that. But you know, we fight up here, you know, talking about SROs in our schools and not wanting to fund those programs. You know, that we're more likely to have incidents where we need more security at the schools than we are in an F4 tornado to blow the roof off. I think this is a great waste of time, although I understand what you're saying about, you know, if a tornado blows through tomorrow and we voted that we want to build a storm shelter at one of our schools. You know, $2.3 million, we're fighting for dollars to put in more educational space. And all Plain Dealing needs money and Bossier needs money. You know, I don't get it. Yet we sit up here and we won't fund SRO programs and things like that, or at least that's part of our discussion. This is frustrating for me. I'm voting to stick with the committee recommendation. Thank you.
This is out of committee. Please vote.
And then lastly, we had for discussion only, we had an update on the 2012 bond construction program and visited about progress at Airline High School, Halton Middle School, Bossier High School, and the progress at where we're going to put Benton High School. And this completes my report.
Thank you. Item 3.03, request, discussion, and possible approval of one board meeting in December, presented by Mike Masur, District 5 board member.
Thank you, Madam President. It's brought to my attention a meeting or so back that several times we've discussed in July or December taking one of our meetings out for travel plans and things like that. But I realize that we most likely have additional business that we need to conduct, and I just wanted to bring it up for discussion. Whether to have the first meeting in December and cancel the second one, or go ahead and proceed with what's on the calendar. I just wanted to bring it up for discussion.
Any discussion?
We're at the 1st and the 15th, is that where we're at currently? Just as a refresher?
Yes.
Okay. So we look at the 8th maybe of having just one board meeting, if that was the deal. I mean, the 15th is, we get out the 16th, I mean, so, or the last day is 16th. I don't know if anybody's
Mr. Buller?
Thank you, Madam President. If we would even consider going to a single meeting on the 8th, I'd love to do it because LSBA has a board meeting the same night we have a board meeting and then the next morning. So I've already told them I can't be there, but there's some business that I really would like to participate in there. So from a personal, purely selfish standpoint, it'd be great if we moved it to the 8th.
We only have one meeting, it's on the 8th.
Mr. Bamber?
Yeah, I would be in favor of having one meeting on the 8th, but with one deal that I think we've got a lot of irons in the fire with our Buildings and Grounds Committee. We may schedule the Tuesday prior to that for Buildings and Grounds Committee. That'll give us 2 more of those before the last meeting of the year.
I just want to make a recommendation that we meet on December the 8th, one board meeting in December.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Brotherton. We have a discussion by Mr. Cheatham.
Just a reminder that with our new policy of electing our president and vice president for the board, we were supposed to do that our last 2 meetings of the year. I think the first meeting of December, you're supposed to put your name in the hat, and then the last meeting we were going to vote. So if we're going to do that, we would need to put our names in the hat in the November meeting and then vote on December the 8th.
Any other comments? We have a motion on the floor, a motion made by Ms. Brotherton, second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. Item 3.04, request approval of the trip.
These are all in order, Mr. President. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Masur, second by Mr. Bamber. Any discussion? Please vote. Item 4.01, announcement by superintendent and comments.
Just some quick comments. Thank you, President Darby. All schools and centers will be closed this coming November 8th, Tuesday, November 8th for Election Day. Also, we'll have a very important Building and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled for November 15th, 4:30 p.m. here at BIC. The reason I say that is that our demographer, Mike Hefner, will be here for that meeting with the latest demographic figures, and obviously you'll be able to ask the kind of questions that you need to ask to get the best possible information from our demographer with his latest figures. So that will be an important Building and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled here once again, 4:30 p.m. November 15th. Also, the next regular scheduled meeting of the board will be scheduled for November 17th here at the Bossier Instructional Center.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Item 5.01, adjournment of the regular session of the board.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mrs. Slack, second by Ms. Brotherton. Please vote. Meeting adjourned.
Hey.